All right, villagers, we're going to talk about the Hotwire Foam Factory tools tonight. The ones I got came from a kit. I also have some additional tools that I ordered separately. You get this kind of really cool power supply that it comes with, and it's got this settings over here on the side, off, and you can set it for different temperatures all the way up to hot. I always just use mine on hot, just seems to work best for me. And then it comes with this long other cord here. That's what attaches to the tools so that you can cut you can use the tools to cut the foam. The kit that I got comes with this tool here, what they call the sculpting tool. And to be honest with you, I never really used this thing. The freehand router, which is this tool here, they look very similar. Works just as well in my opinion for what I need it for. You might like this tool, it's up to you, but basically you'll notice the difference in the router. The freehand router has the these nuts and bolts right here that hold these wires onto the actual tool. So you have to take this nut and bolt off to put this in there to replace this wire. The sculpting tool has these little notches in this part of the tool, and what you do is you just take this little skinny wire that comes in this package and you just kind of put it on here and wrap it around a couple times, and then you stretch it out across, and then you wrap it around the other side, and then you can stretch this part out to the width of the wire, and it keeps the wire there, and you can kind of hold your hand like that and keep it taut. Or they actually make a plastic piece that can go down in here that keeps it, that holds this separate out so it doesn't close back up on you when you don't want it to. Like I said, I really don't use this that much because I find that the routing tool works just perfectly for what I need it for. So, but anyways, that's the sculpting tool. The other common tool that comes in the kit is this knife. This is the cutting knife. As you can see, I use these tools a lot, so they kind of got some, wear on them. According to the Hotwire Foam Factory website, you can clean these with like acetone. I haven't cleaned these in a while, so they probably need to have a good cleaning. But to get some of that old residue off of there and some of that darkened material, because if you want a nice clean cut without any of this black showing up inside of your foam, make sure you have a nice clean cut on there. So this is the just the knife. I think this one is a 4 or 6 inch knife. They come in different sizes. I think the kit comes with like a 3 inch knife. I recommend getting the 4 inch knife, and I think a 6 inch knife, and they also have like an 8 inch knife. And that really works really well, especially when you start doing elevations and you have houses that are up high in elevation and you need to cut holes down beneath them to drop power cords down through. That longer blade really makes a difference. And the other tool that comes in the kit is this engraving tool. It's kind of got like a little round point on it right here, and you heat this up and you can use this to do like stones or bricks or any type of engraving. You can letters, anything like that. That's how that works. So the first one I'm going to show you guys is the knife. If you have any of these tools, this knife is probably one of the ones that you'll want to have, because this one can do quite a bit of stuff for what a lot of people need it for. So it's got this little adapter right here that most of them come with, like this kind of a plug. They have other types of power sources for these where you just plug it into there, or they have one that plugs directly into the wall. But they also create this adapter piece for it, and then that'll plug into your power supply source. And then you just turn it on hot, and you'll get a power indication right here that shows that it's on. You can kind of see it right there. Little LED lights up, and then pretty soon if you've got some residue on here still, you'll kind of see some smoke coming off of it. And I'm just going to use this to cut just a scrap piece of foam. This is just standard foam EPS, what they call it, extruded polystyrene. You can get this at, like Home Depot or whatever. I got this from a store here in Virginia called HD Supply, and they also call this bead board because it's used in insulation and things like that. So on the hot knife itself, it also has an on-off switch. All these tools do. So when you're not using it, you can just leave it sitting around so it won't, burn you or anything like that. When you're ready to use it, you just kick that on and it'll start heating up. So I'll show you how you can just cut through some styrofoam here. And there's different kinds of things that you can do with this knife. One of the cool things that you can do is, if you're just starting to size out your layout or your village, you just kind of get a rough cut on the outside edges. So you just cut a big piece of foam, and then you can start cutting it down how you want it. Again, you just take the blade, let the blade do all the work. You don't have to force it through. You can just let the blade just run right through this. It's basically just cutting it like butter, and it'll just let the heat drag the blade all the way through the foam, and then it'll get to the bottom, and you'll have a nice cut, and it kind of seals it up so you don't have all those little round beads. So it gives it a nice edge on it, a nice smooth edge. So if you're looking for that type of an edge, you get a nice little smooth edge. You also get some of these little hairs on there on occasion. What Hotwire Foam Factory recommends is that you just cut slower, and it reduces some of those little wispy hairs off of there. Another thing that you can do with this knife is, for instance, if you're doing a snow village of some sort and you don't want that smooth look, what you can do is, I'll let this heat back up here. When you're cutting through the styrofoam, the last cut we did, we just let the blade just run down through there. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of use a sawing motion back and forth. And when it goes through, I'm kind of using a sawing motion back and forth, kind of to the right and to the left, kind of just pulling it through, making it kind of a rough edge. Now when you take this apart, you get kind of a cool edge on it like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. But that looks more like maybe like the side of a glacier or something like that. So you can see the difference, how one's really smooth and the other one's really rough. Give it a nice rough edge. Probably the most important thing that I use this for is for cutting holes. Either some of your villages, some of your houses have the light cords that plug into them with a light, either through the back, or some of them have it through the bottom. Well, if you like to hide your cords, then what you do is you just kind of find out where that hole is on the little house that you're working with, and if it's on the bottom, then you just take and kind of mark out where that would be, and then you can just take this hot knife and you can just cut a circle like this, and that'll be big enough for your cord to drop down through. Again, just letting the knife do the work. Don't force it, because you'll break that little piece off and you'll have to get a replacement one. And then when you're done, you just pop that piece out, and now you got a nice hole for your cord to go down and through there. So you can drop the power cord in, put it in your house, set your house down over the top of this, no wires. You won't see any wires. The next one that I'm going to show you guys some stuff with is going to be this freehand routing tool. It's adjustable. This wire can be shaped however you like it. This is the tool that people use to make stairs with. I have not mastered that. I don't claim to be a master of it, but I have used it to make some stairs. Again, if you're doing like a North Pole village and you're just looking for something kind of whimsical or whatever, I like this piece because I take this wire and I kind of make it just kind of like a round, like a half circle on there. And then when I turn this on and let it heat up, if you like the edge of your styrofoam to look like a glacier like that, you got that with the hot knife. But if you would like the edge to have a more sculpted look, you just take this and you just kind of drag it in here and just kind of roll it and pull it out, and it creates these cool little pockets. Just kind of roll it through. You can do it from the bottom side, pull it up through that way. There's no really right or wrong way to do it, but it creates a cool, like, sculpted edge. And if you guys saw that the display that I did on top of our piano, that whole edge all the way around looks like this. And that's what this tool can do. Again, like I said, this tool is what people use to make stairs with. So sometimes you can just take a piece of pliers, a pair of pliers, and you can kind of square this off. It's a little hot right now. You can do it with your fingers too, but you can kind of square it off and get this shape how you like. Yes, it's not even hot anymore. You can get it kind of how you want. Square that wire off a little bit. Try and get as tight as you can in there for your stairs that you want to do. And it kind of makes like a square edge. And then on another piece of foam, you can heat this up. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this piece and just go down into the foam this way, and then just kind of pull it out for the width of the stairs that you want, then down for the next one, then out, and so forth until you get down to the bottom. So you'll go down, out, down, out, down, out, like that. And it'll create a set of steps. You know, some people they don't care for the rounded look on the steps. For me, I don't really care, because usually what you can do is you can detail them out with this tool here, and with this engraving tool you can make like some stones and stuff like that, and then when you paint it out, it looks really cool. So that's the sculpting tool. Or excuse me, the freehand. That's the freehand routing tool. So it's got a lot of different applications. You can go on hotwirefoamfactory.com and look at some of their videos on there. You can check out their frequently asked questions page, and you get that. All right, so the last thing that we're going to look at is this engraving tool. And this tool comes in pretty handy for doing some cool, delicate work. For those of you that like trains on your layout and you want them to go into a tunnel or something like that, then you can make a tunnel portal going in out of bricks, and you can use this. You know, you can draw it on with a pencil or a marker, and then you can use this to outline it, and it creates pretty cool patterns. And then you just go back and you fill it in with paint. I can show you how to do that later on. Let's let this thing heat up here. Sometimes these don't heat up because they don't get a very good connection. So while that's heating up, if it will, I don't know if it will or not. This one might be one of the bad ones that I have. But like I said, I ordered several different tools from them. So some of the broken ones that I have, I'd still have around. I just haven't done anything with them. But yeah, I don't think this one's going to heat up. See if I can check it out while it's not heating up. Sometimes you got to make sure you have a really good connection in here. And then go from there. Also, you'll notice here, this thing is blinking. So that's a problem with this power supply is starting to go bad. It could also be a result of this being bad. Yeah, so see now it quit blinking. So that means that there's a bad connection inside of this tool. So when that light flashes like that, it lets you know that there's something wrong with this tool. So I'll have to find the other one that I have somewhere around here, and I'll show you that one. But basically, what you do is when it heats up, you can do like little circles, or you can do lines for like bricks, and you know it'll just basically cut a narrow little line into the styrofoam, and it turns out pretty cool. You can Google some videos on the precision engraving tool from Hotwire Foam Factory, and it'll show you those different techniques. If you guys have any questions or anything, just leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. Or if you have any other video requests or things like that, just let me know. We'll see if we can get around to getting those done for you. Okay? All right, enjoy.